Hey y'all, hi. What an exciting video to be filming. I have all of these Salt New York products laid out on my workspace because I just finished filming a swatch video, swatching every single one of these products. And as soon as I had finished that, I got the urge to continue filming with these products. I want to curate a little palette, probably a palette that I can use over the next couple of weeks while I'm in transition, moving to a new state. And I also kind of want to play with some of the shade adjusters and see what kinds of shades I can mix. So it's a little bit unplanned, kind of a makeup organization video, kind of a swatch party and makeup playtime video. This is something that I would have been doing anyway, and I just want to take you along on the journey with me. If this is your first time to my channel, then hello, my name is Hannah. I am so glad that you clicked on this video. I really enjoy playing with makeup. I do some reviews on my channel, some videos like this where I'm just playing with makeup. What I want to do here is to revel in beauty and the love of beauty without overspending on makeup and without encouraging you to overspend. And if that sounds good, and especially if you enjoy this while you're watching it, I hope you'll subscribe. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. All right, so these are the categories of Salt New York products. This is the Sneaky Balm. This is the Radiant Cream Tint Pro. This is the Sculpt and Bronze. This is the Lip and Cheek product, and these are the shade adjusters. And again, I filmed a swatch video, swatching everything. It's already up on my channel. I will, of course, link it below. I'm just going to be selecting some of these products to play with today. And I think I'm going to start with the Lip and Cheeks and the shade adjusters. So these are the shade adjusters for the complexion products, and these are the shade adjusters in the lip and cheek formula. So if I'm going to be mixing colors from this pile, I'm going to want to use these adjusters to mix. Okay, I said that, and then as soon as I started thinking about it, I realized that if I want to mix a blush, then I probably want to use the complexion shade adjuster, the Cream Tint Pro, that is a bit more opaque and pigmented. And that's the first thing that I want to do. I just want to mix Cocoa. This is Cocoa, which is my favorite of the Lip and Cheek Cream Tint Pro products. And this is the white complexion shade adjuster. So I have done this a bit. I've mixed them on my cheeks, and I have mixed Cocoa with the white lip and cheek adjuster on my lips. But I want to mix these two to try to get a pale brown blush, just so I can see what it looks like in isolation rather than on my face. That's totally beautiful. And it's a bit rosy. It's done what a lot of pale brown blushes do on me. It's gone like a bit mauve, which I think is good, especially for something that's on the market that's supposed to work for a bunch of people. But I'm always looking for that almost grayish blush because I have an olive undertone, and I find that when something's even a touch pink or a touch mauve, it goes very pink or very purple on me. So I'm kind of curious to mix some more colors into this and try to get it to be less pink. I know that yellow is the opposite of purple on the color wheel, so I think if I mix in a little bit of this yellow, it will cancel out some of that purple. Yes, that absolutely did it. That is exactly what I was looking for. More of a neutral brown rather than that kind of mauvey brown. This is beautiful, but I could see it being, I don't know, a little orange on my face. So let's try to bring it back in the other direction from being orange, but still keeping it neutral. On the color wheel, the opposite of orange is blue. So of course, I'm curious about what adding the teeniest speck of this blue lip and cheek adjuster will do. This is the product. It's the lip and cheek rather than being the complexion adjuster. I'm actually worried I might have gotten too much. I'm going to start with just a little bit. All right, it was still way too much blue, and it definitely turned it green. But I think that what I want is a version of a pale brown blush that's actually a little bit green, because I'm a little bit green. I have an olive undertone. So I think I need to balance this out. I need to add more of all of the products that I had in this mix before. But I'm hoping that it will retain a little bit of this grayish green quality. Okay, we're really getting there. This reminds me a lot of the initial mixture, just cocoa mixed with white, but it's more neutral and less rosy without being orange and without leaving the realm of like a reasonable cheek color for me. So very close to what I had when I had just added the yellow, but more neutral because of that blue. This is amazing. I love this color, but I want it to be more pale. I'm curious what it will look like if I just add way more of the white. I'm actually going to add both the white complexion adjuster and the white lip and cheek. All right, I'm obsessed. This is like my dream blush color that we'll probably never see on the market anywhere because it's a really specific requirement. Is anyone else out there always looking for a cream blush this color, or is it just me? I know that it probably looks like a contour when it's on the back of my hand. Like you look at this and you're like, oh, there's plenty of stuff out there. It's just a contour. You just have to look for something that's marketed as a contour. But just to contrast it, here is the Salt New York Sculpt in Bronze color that can be used as a contour for fair skin. It's called Taupe. And to contrast, you can see how this would make sense as a cheek color for me, but this is definitely more of a sculpting product. And here's the actual Sculpt in Bronze in the lightest shade. It's just much darker and much more peach. To me, there's plenty of blush, cream blush in the world that looks like this, but there just isn't one that looks like this. So this is my dream, and I just thought that I was going to be playing today, but now I really want to find a way to save this. I mean, I guess I have a record kind of the formula because I just filmed myself creating it, but I want to save this in some sort of little pot, and I'm not sure I have anything. Okay, y'all, here's what I did. I went through my single eyeshadows and I found this old matte bright peach, which is from the original release of Adept Cosmetics. It's not on the market anymore, and I can easily imagine myself never using it again and or decluttering it the next time I declutter my singles. So I'm gonna go see if I can wash this out and bring back the empty pan and try to put my mixture into the little pan. Okay, I'm back. It totally worked. I've got this little clean pan. I did not expect it to get this serious, obviously, or I would have prepared some little empty pans in advance. I thought I was just going to be playing around, but I immediately ended up with a mixture that I can't bear to scrap. Let's see. Okay, so it's way less product than I would need to fill the pan. And if I were going to like mix a pan full of this stuff, I would need to use more. But it should be safe in this little pan, and I can definitely include it in a palette with other Salt New York products. Ooh, I'm really tempted to try to mix myself a full pan. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so there's my very rough initial guess at what I think the proportions might be. Let's see how it comes out. Just pausing to say that you can see that there are these little white specks. I think it's the complexion adjuster. The white complexion adjuster is a little bit sturdier than the lip and cheek, which is like a more emollient formula. So when I'm mixing them together, it takes longer for the white complexion adjuster to kind of melt and mix in. And it helps to spread it out on the back of my hand like this so that the warmth of my hand can melt that product. But it definitely eventually will melt and mix in. It does every time. So we're getting pretty close. This is what I have right now, and this is the target. It definitely needs to be a bit paler, so we need more white. And I think we also need a teeny bit more yellow and an even teenier bit more blue. So we still need more yellow and more blue, and I think a little more white too. I'm just going slowly adding in the yellow and the blue because I know that it can go overboard really fast. Better to add a little bit at a time. Okay, that really brought us, I think, into the more neutral realm. That was, I think, the right amount of yellow and blue, and now we just need to lighten it up. Pretty close, y'all. I think we've gotten pretty close. Let's see. So that's what I have right now. And that's the target. It's almost like we've gotten a little bit too mauve. Let's see. Yeah, the original is still more brown. Like I still need to add more yellow, I think. We're pretty much there in terms of like how saturated it is and how much white is in it, but it's just not dirty enough yet. Not quite. I feel like I need to go kind of slow though in adding the yellow and should I add more blue? I'm going to add yellow just and see what happens. Yeah, I think that has helped. I just added yellow because remember, I was just trying to kill the mauve undertone, and I'm using blue to try to bring us back from it looking too orange. And it wasn't looking too orange, it was just looking too mauve. So I just added yellow. Here's where we're at now. And this down here is the target. I actually think we still need more yellow, right? We're trying to get to this stage and we're still a little bit in mauve land. The other thing that I think might be going on is that I think I used more of the lip and cheek white adjuster for this mix than I did for the other mix. I've ended up with a less opaque formula. Here is where we're at. And again, this is what we want. So I'm going to put in some more of the white complexion shade adjuster. And y'all, I think I just need to kind of go for it with yellow. It's almost like no matter how much I add, it's not enough. I need to give it a good dose. I think I really underestimated it at the beginning. because if it gets too orange from the yellow, we can always pull it back with a tiny bit of blue. I'm also going to mix for a little bit with my other finger to try to melt absolutely every bit of product. I'm running out of places to swatch. Okay, that's pretty close. I actually think what happened there was we finally crossed over into it being a tiny bit more neutral than I want it to be. So I added like a tiny bit too much yellow, but the fix for that is easy. We just need to add more cocoa to pull it back to being right here. A tiny bit more cocoa, and again, maybe a tiny bit more of the white complexion adjuster. Okay, that may have nearly done it. Let's see. So that middle swatch right there is the original that I'm trying to match. And that's what I have right now. Pretty close. I think the one that I have right now is, again, maybe a little bit more shiny and maybe a little bit less saturated. It's almost like it's a little desaturated, but I've gotten it very close, and I think I'm ready to mix them together. Actually, I'm going to put the little tiniest bit more of cocoa in. And now I'm ready to mix them together. So that right there, that little pile right there is the original, and then this is the one that I just made. Okay, y'all, there it is. My teeny tiny pan of custom Salt New York blush, basically, although I'm sure I can use this on my lips as well and probably will. I could not be more excited about this. This is not the outcome I was expecting from today. I thought it was just going to be some aimless playtime, but wow. I think I need to go kind of like clean myself up a little bit. It's hard to see, but I've got this stuff all over my hands. And of course, I've got all of these swatches all over my arms. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to go wash my hands, and then I'm going to come back and clean the pan up a little bit too. Okay, that was wild and super fun. I think the thing that's going to be interesting is to see if this sets. And I bet that it will. My experience with these products is that they don't dry out. It's not like some cream products where you have to keep them completely sealed in a compact or else they dry out and become unusable. They're pretty set when they're left alone. So like when they arrive, they're pretty stable. And then when you start using them, mixing them with a brush or warming them up with your fingers, they become the really beautiful consistency that applies beautifully to the face. So this is currently that beautiful consistency. It's all warmed up. It's all emollient and melty because I've been mixing it on the back of my hand. But I think that as it sits in this pan, it's going to go back to its more stable set state, just in the way that all of these are in like a more stable set state. So I'm going to leave it for the time being. I'm going to move it to the side. I feel like this concludes this portion of the video, the mixology portion. I was thinking of mixing a bunch of other custom colors, but I've been doing this for an hour and I need to move on to the next part of the video. And I'm also worried that if I start mixing colors, there's going to be a repeat of this situation where I love the color and I want to keep it. But needless to say, this was one robust demonstration of what fun one can have with these shade adjusters. I will, of course, report back in a video very soon about how this looks on the cheeks. I'm not set up right now to show you how it looks to apply it to my face because the camera is in the overhead position, but rest assured, you will find out soon in an upcoming video. We are, of course, calling this shade Old Gum. I am perpetually on the search for a cream cheek the color of old gum, and that is exactly what I've mixed today, my dream. I am now going to bring all of the other products back and just think about which ones I might want to select for a custom palette. For the palette, I have a couple of choices, or I could build both. The Salt New York palette comes in 2 sizes. This is a small one. It just fits 4 pans. And this is the large one, which fits 8 pans. And the context here is that I'm about to move across the country, and we're really entering the end game now in terms of packing. It's getting to that point where I need to pack into a box absolutely everything that I'm not going to have in my suitcase while the stuff that we're shipping across the country is in boxes and in the moving truck. So I'm going to be living out of a suitcase for 2, maybe 3 weeks while we make the transition. And it's time to start thinking about which of my makeup products are going to be the ones that I keep with me, the ones that I don't pack. And I thought going into this video that I was just going to pack 4 Salt New York products into this little palette to be part of my curated makeup collection while we're moving across the country. But now I'm thinking that maybe it would make sense to just commit to Salt New York as my main source of makeup during this time of transition, because I can essentially do a full face. There's a foundation product, although I imagine that I'll supplement with like a green color corrector and maybe one other foundation product like the Monica Blender Balm or the Rose Ink Concealer. But I can do a quick face with the lightest shade of Sneaky Balm as long as I also have the white complexion adjuster. So I can even out my skin tone, I can blush my cheeks up, and I can use these lip and cheek products on my lips. And they're nice and emollient and comforting on the lips, so they don't just add color, they also add some nourishment, which is going to be one of my main concerns during this crazy time. I want to have with me lip products that I can put onto my lips, not just when I'm wanting to make myself up, but also when they're feeling dry. And these definitely fit that bill. I'm gonna do it, y'all. I'm gonna try to build a palette that will mean that I can pack almost all of the rest of my makeup in boxes and ship it with the movers. So starting with these 2 for base, N12 is currently the lightest shade, and it's not quite light enough for me, so I always mix it with a little bit of the White Cream Tint Pro Adjuster when I'm applying it. So I don't need any of the other shades of Sneaky Balm, and I actually don't think that I need any of the shades of Sculpt either, the Bronze and Sculpt. The Bronze and Sculpt Light might be a candidate. It has potential to be kind of a pale peachy blush for me, but on me, it goes a little bit orange. It's beautiful when blended with other products, but I don't think it's going to earn a spot in the palette. So let's think it through. Let's say it's moving day and I've gotten up early in the morning. I sat down on my vanity. I used a brush to put a light layer of this all over my face. And then I used that same brush to mix in a little bit of this on my face just to brighten it up and make it match my neck. Then what do I want? I probably want on that day a pretty easy and pretty neutral cheek that I can also put on my lip. For me, it's definitely Cocoa. It's my favorite of the lip and cheek colors. It's neutral, it's kind of sultry, it looks beautiful on the lips. It's very my lips, but better for me because I have quite pigmented lips. It's definitely the one that I want in that situation. But I also get a good bit of use out of Rose. Rose feels to me like the lip and cheek that has the most white base, the milkiest base, and I like that on my skin. I'm going to include it too. So I'd say those 4 are the baseline for me. And then I can put products that I use to play in the other 4 spots. So let's say we've moved, we've gotten where we're going, and our stuff isn't there yet. So the rest of my makeup isn't there yet, but we are going out to dinner. I think I'll want a highlighter. And I've actually found myself preferring beige, which is this one. Pearl is the lightest shade and it's also very beautiful. Both of them work for my skin, obviously, but I find that beige is a little more subtle. This is a bit of an icy highlight, so it's actually a stronger look on me. There's beige and there's pearl. And there they are blended out. They're both beautiful, but I'm going to put beige in my palette. And I think that that's going to do it for the Radiant Cream Tint Pro, although I like using Rust as a blush, kind of like an illuminating terracotta blush, but I don't think I'm going to use it on this occasion for this palette. And I'm probably not going to use any of the other shade adjusters either. I mean, maybe the white one if I end up deciding that I want both the white complexion adjuster and the white lip and cheek adjuster. I do end up using this a lot when I'm putting these products on my lips. Maybe, but probably not any of these. I feel like it's a question of which colors I want. And I know that I want something strong and exciting, something really brilliant and maybe a little bit out of the box for me. So maybe one of this top row. These 3 are peach, tangerine, and coral. Peach, tangerine, coral. I feel like it's got to be coral. Coral is really calling to me in this moment. That's this one. This is also a color that I really love. This is the Cream Tint Pro in Terracotta, and this kind of rusty brick red is what I usually like to use on my lips these days when I'm wearing a strong red lip. So if I were going out to dinner, say, and I just had these products, this might be the one that I would use as a lipstick. And you know what? I think that the best move for me might actually be to include the lip and cheek adjuster in white as well, because that will mean that all 4 of these colors can be made more opaque and milkier and lighter on the cheeks and the lips. A million variations on the theme of these 4 rather than just one more color, which is what I would get if I added in one of these. So I think that this is going to be it for me. I'm going to put the rest of them in palettes that will ship in the moving boxes. And then I'm going to live out of this palette pretty much for most of the next month. I've made a little space at the bottom by pushing them flush with the top, and it'll be interesting to see if I can fit any eyeshadows in there. I might find like 1 or 2, or maybe even a whole row of super practical eyeshadows and put them in there. And that would make this even more of a versatile palette, and it would mean that I could pack even more of my makeup in the boxes. I'm not going to do that now. I think I might do it in the very next video that I'm going to film. In that video, I'm going to go through all of my makeup and kind of declutter and organize and sort everything in advance of packing it to move. But for this video, I'm going to leave it there. That is it. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. This was really fun. And if there's something specific that you'd like to see along these lines once I get settled in my new location, definitely let me know, because I would love to film something like this again. Keep an eye out for the sorting and decluttering video, because it'll be coming to the channel very soon. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.